Hello folks, Dick Fairburn here. This is the second in a series of pieces I want to do about commenters on YouTube. And the kind of people who read and the kind of people who comment. In this one I'm going to ask you a question. Are you a Gunshop Commando? Stick around. You'll find out in just a minute. Here's today's question. Are you a Gunshop Commando? My old friend Richard Heine, in my humble opinion, the best model 1911 pistol smith of them all, he has a phrase he uses to describe folks who think they are gun experts, but are really only living proof that a little knowledge is dangerous. Dick calls these people Gunshop Commandos. If they rode horses, my cowboy friends from my days in Wyoming would call them drugstore cowboys. They are not quite the real deal. When I started my YouTube channel about 6 months ago, some friends warned me about the trolls I would encounter. Folks who post comments telling the content provider how they got it wrong, whatever the it topic in the video might be. The trolls, who often illustrate their ineptitude clearly in their comments, somehow always know better. We now have a generation of gun enthusiasts who apparently have a good enough job to allow them to buy a lot of guns, accessories, and ammunition. These folks spend a lot of time trying to impress each other over the counter at the gun shop. But their real-world expertise at using firearms as tools is quite limited. Oh, they do a lot of shooting. They spend a lot of time on the range turning ammunition into empty brass, turning dollars into noise. But most have never used a firearm as anything but an expensive toy. Have they hunted? Have they served in law enforcement or the military? Have they participated in some form of firearms competition? Have they ever had a pistol in their hand during a high-stress, no shit, I might have to shoot someone to save my life type of event? Probably no to all of those questions. But hey, it is still a barely free country to do as you wish. I have even been one of the guys who pick up the brass they leave laying behind. The Commandos probably have a concealed carry license, and they carry every day. I bet they have a large collection of concealed carry pistols and holsters for every occasion and every type of dress. If the YouTube videos are any indication, some of these guys, and I will have to say that I don't really recall seeing any gals that I would classify as a Gunshop Commando. Seems to be an almost strictly male thing. Many of them are damn fine shots. They can offer fire very rapidly, very accurately, and the coolest ones can even air rack their semi-auto pistols. A skill my arthritic hands and wrists could never master, nor would I want to. Some of these modern era commandos do participate in practical training and informal competition of sorts. They kit up with full war belts, a multitude of magazines, armor plate carriers, and they run and gun better than most cops do. I thought playing Army was cool when I was a kid with a cap gun, and it is even cooler when they let you do it with real guns. Now, since these shooters are young, fit, competent gun handlers who seem to try to emulating Tier 1 operators, I have to wonder why they don't just take their skills and their passion and join up. Recruiting for both police agencies and the military branches is at record lows. We need these young men to help defend our nation and our streets. Pick up your weapon and follow me, son. For about 30 years, I was a minor league player in the field of gun riders, mostly working in my police trade publication niche, but I was taken seriously by other writers and magazines and the gun industry. Often, I was requested to test and review weapons, optics, ammunition, and other gear. Since the advent of YouTube, thousands of content providers consider themselves serious gun reporters, which has drastically changed the way manufacturers loan out test and evaluation equipment and hand out free ammo. There are no standards by which YouTube gun content can be fact-checked, and many of the dudes who hold themselves out to be experts are careful not to make their real credentials known. Or should I say they are careful not to make their lack of real credentials known. Those of us on YouTube who bring established reputations to the platform may disagree with each other on occasion, but we respect each other. Too bad the commandos don't mirror that respectable behavior. One content provider recently posted a piece about my video discussing the FBI's change in sidearms from the .40 Smith & Wesson to 9mm. He said the purpose of his posting was to, quote, prove some things Dick Fairburn said were obviously either false or misleading, end quote. I watched his video, which mostly quoted from other YouTube sources. He heavily quoted one posting which has been totally discredited by knowledgeable folks in the terminal ballistics community as most likely being a total work of fiction. When I commented on his video about that study being debunked, the content provider merely deleted my comment. Probably afraid his 100 or so viewers might realize he merely regurgitates what he sees on YouTube, rather than basing his videos on first-hand experience. You know, actually leave their keyboard and take part in real-world activities. Get your hands dirty. That marks him as a gunshop commando in my book. Now, much of what we discuss about firearms topics is opinion, not hard fact. The opinion of someone with years of real-world experience has weight. The opinion of liberals and the inexperienced carry little weight. So here's the question. Are you a gunshop commando? If you are, that doesn't make you a bad person. Hell, you're probably a better person than me. You don't lose sleep second-guessing decisions you made under stress years ago, wondering if you saved more lives than you endangered over the years. Now, we live in a barely still free country, and you are entitled to buy and shoot all the guns you want, at least for now. You are entitled in many jurisdictions to carry a firearm openly, even though many of us think that is a constitutional right better left unexercised most of the time. And you are entitled to your freedom of speech, whether or not you know whereof you speak. Since I have spent more than 1,000 words expressing my opinion of gunshop commandos, you have the same right to comment on this video and tell me what an arrogant ass I am. A Fudd, as some of you have already described me. As in my other video, asking if I am a Fudd, I will leave the commandos with the sage advice of Abraham Lincoln. Better to remain silent than be thought a fool, than to speak and remove all doubt. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.